Hello, Kelly here. Welcome as we discuss another profound temperament. And today we are discussing the phlegmatics. Very fantastic temperament indeed. Now, who are phlegmatics? These are peace lovers by nature. They can sacrifice anything for the sake of peace. They can relinquish anything just to have peace around them. Phlegmatics don't like confrontation. They are very diplomatic and they would rather solve things through discussion than confrontation. Phlegmatics are very quiet, very cool. In fact, they're the coolest of all the temperaments. They don't like speaking too much, but they're very calculative when to speak. They can speak a lot when the environment around them is secure, when they are already sure of their environment very well, they can speak a lot. But when you meet them for the first time or they don't know you very well, they might hardly speak a lot. But when they're already secure around you, they can speak. Phlegmatics are very efficient in what they do. They can take time, but they're very efficient. Very keen to details. In fact, they can do certain jobs that can blow other temperaments' minds. Very keen to details. Things that require meticulousy. They are very excellent in that. Phlegmatics are very dependable. These are people you can depend on. When they tell you they're going to do something, you can depend on them. Most of them make very loyal employees, and they hardly hope from one job to the other. They can stay on a job for very long, so long as they are okay in that area. Phlegmatics would rather go for a job where they have, retirement security and the rest than, compared to maybe going to start a business or something, because they don't have, the risk appetite. But once they settle on something, they do it for quite long. They like routine. I wake up in the morning, I do A, B, C, D. Night comes, I go sleep, wake up the following day, do A, B, C, D. They like that order. Phlegmatics are very friendly. They are the so-called people-oriented extroverts. They have friends around them, and they know how to deal with people. They are very empathetic. They know how to study people and people's feelings very quickly. Yes. One thing that stands out among phlegmatics, when a phlegmatic is a leader, they like getting people's opinion. They say, please, let's come around and discuss this matter. And whenever people are discussing, they get each and every person's opinion. They don't superimpose their opinion on people, no. They get people's ideas one by one. They are people-oriented. Phlegmatics are very humorous also. As quiet as they are very humorous. They can crack some dry jokes and people can laugh seriously. I've seen some people that are very quiet and sometimes they speak and everyone laughs and they wonder, but so-and-so is very quiet. How did they think about that? You can be somewhere, people are talking and the rest, but they're just quiet, but they speak one statement and everyone is laughing. Those are phlegmatics for you. Phlegmatics are very orderly. They like doing things in order. You enter a place, or if in an office place and the rest, you see them seated somewhere and their place is very orderly. They don't like jumping from one place to the other. These are people, they can go to their workplace, sit at the same place for long without standing to, maybe if they're going to something important, fine. But they don't like moving around anyhow, as probably compared to others. Yes, probably you saw them in school. These are people who can sit, and the only time they leave, they don't even like going for break time. Maybe just to visit the gents and the ladies and come back on the same spot. Phlegmatics work well under pressure, even though they don't like pressure, but under pressure they work very well. When there is something urgent to be done, they can work very well under that pressure. When there is a deadline to be met, they can work well under that. Phlegmatics are very diplomatic. Like I said, they don't like confronting issues, but they will go around it with diplomacy. That is how they find their way out, through diplomacy. Now, these are the people who would rather not tell you no, but just ignore your calls. They would rather not confront you and tell you no, I can't, but they just ignore your calls and ignore, telling you about that. Of course, that is something that they can work on, because sometimes you may need to stand your ground and say no to avoid complications. Phlegmatics are patience personified. Anything that requires patience, they will do it very well. They are very patient. These are people who can wait very patiently. They're not in a hurry. They can take time, wait very patiently. In fact, I know of a governor in our country, Kenya. I've interacted with him very closely, and I've seen how he operates. The guy is very patient. Sometimes he goes to, of course, as a governor, you expect him to be receiving many calls, but this is someone who can be addressing mere youths, young people. You won't see him receiving calls. You'd rather put his phone aside on a silent and address people without, any ish. He's very patient with people, and they're very good listeners. Actually, most counselors are phlegmatics because of their ability to listen to people very patiently. Those are the strengths and characteristics of a phlegmatic. Let's see certain things that phlegmatics need to work on in order to become a better version of them. Number one, phlegmatics can be very slow and lazy, and that can derail some of the things they're supposed to be doing. They can just sit there and, be doing nothing, and they don't feel guilty resting like the other temperaments, maybe cholerics and sanguines. They can feel guilty resting, but phlegmatics can sit there and they're very fine with that. So that's something they need to check, because this life is all about taking action. Phlegmatics can be very stubborn. That is something with them. Like I said, they're not confrontational, but their way of dealing with issues, they can choose to be very stubborn, just to keep quiet and let you know they're not doing. They just sit there and just choose to be very stubborn. That is something that can affect, of course, they need to check on that. Phlegmatics like limiting themselves. There are people who won't volunteer to become leaders. They like limiting themselves. Actually, phlegmatics are endowed with many gifts, many talents, many abilities, but they like limiting themselves. I don't know. Let me take you back to probably school, when you're in school, because they exhibit most of these features in school. I've seen some people who are very quiet in class. They won't raise their hands whenever teacher asks a question. They won't raise their hands, they're just quiet. But whenever teacher points at them, they give the exact answer, and the teacher asks, but you knew, why couldn't you say? They're just quiet. They like limiting themselves. These are people, whenever a leader is needed, they won't volunteer to be leaders. Can someone lead us do this? They'll just be quiet, but if you give them that chance, they will do it excellently well. Sometimes when there's a promotion or something needs to be done, they would rather let you choose someone and the person messes up, then you give them later and they do it excellent, and you wonder, if you knew you could do it, why could you just offer yourself? And this is something they need to check on, because they have a lot of abilities, and because they limit themselves, they may not fully exploit their potential. Of course, hardly do they fail in life, but also hardly do they fulfill their full potential. Why? Because they limit themselves. So a phlegmatic that can, break out of that shell can achieve a lot in life. Phlegmatics are very indecisive. Making a decision is very difficult, but once they make up their mind, that is it. Check very well when they go shopping. They take a lot of time just choosing this one, touching this one, touching this one, touching this one, and they are very indecisive. And these are people who can go to the shop many times, because they go, I've not taken this, they still go back. I've not taken this, they go back. So they take time to make a decision. And there is a say that says analysis paralysis. You can analyze too much until you get paralyzed. So this is something phlegmatics needs to check on, so that they take a decision when it is needed and execute it. Phlegmatics can be very pessimistic. They can, they think the future will not be well, things will not be well, and the rest, and they think of negative things and so on and so forth. They can be very pessimistic. So the number one thing they need is motivation. Number one thing they need is serious motivation. And by the way, you discover that people marry opposite temperaments. That is why most phlegmatics get married to cholerics, because their strengths are cholerics' weakness, while the choleric strengths are their weaknesses. So if they come together, that kind of blend brings out the best results so far. If we check very well, sanguines mostly marry either phlegmatics or melancholics. Why? Because of the blending of the abilities. So another thing is that phlegmatics are very easygoing, which is very good, because it makes them friendly and people can associate with them very easily. But on the other hand, they find it difficult to say no. If something they know it is not my decision to do this, but they find themselves doing it because they don't want to say no, because they believe saying no is hurting the other person. So they are actually self-sacrificial. They would rather sacrifice themselves to please someone else other than doing what they know is good for them. So phlegmatics should know that sometimes they need to stand their ground and say no. Another thing is that as much as patience is good, sometimes it can work against them, because phlegmatics like staying at the backstage of life. They can be too patient, and that can affect a lot of things. So this kind of patience should be checked so that it doesn't derail their growth in life. They need to take action, because opportunities don't wait. They come once, and once they go, that's the end of it. So they need to learn to capture opportunities when they come, so that they don't wait for too long until opportunities go. We'll still learn much as far as the temperaments are concerned. Next time I'll come with different blends of temperaments, because you discover you have abilities in this temperament, also in this temperament. So where are you? This is what I will discover next. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you guys. My email is at the description. In case of any support, why not? There's a motivation. Thank you so much, and see you next time.